I heard somebody say that once this administration is out of power, we still have to worry about the Project 2025 people and the engineers of that. And we have to worry about the white supremacists, the wealthy. No, the wealthy, the white supremacists, and the Christian nationalists, they are all being broken by God. God is humbling these people so badly. He's humiliating them. He's exposing them. He's breaking them on every front. The Christians, the fake evangelicals, the wealthy, and the white nationalists, the white supremacists. These are all run by old white men who's trying to recruit young white men to carry on their legacy. This is all about white supremacy. It's always been about white supremacy. Plus, these old white men in the wealthy sector are living in the past. These people are stuck on oil and coal. They're living in the 70s and 80s, trying to dominate the world's oil and coal, taking Venezuela oil. Now they're trying to take Iran's oil. They're failing. They're going to fail because science has introduced to us alternative forms of energy that other nations are using. Solar and wind and electric, it's alternatives. And nations are growing, except the United States. They're behind in technology, whether you believe it or not. These men are old relics, dinosaurs, living off of oil and coal. They're going to fail. The data centers, they're trying to unemploy people using data centers. White supremacists are being revealed through ICE. That manifested in ICE with their white brutality against people of color. They live in a fantasy, their dream. That's failing because they see that people hate them. They cuss at them, they yell at them, they are hated, and they are disrespected, and they're not earning respect. They're being despised. That's failing. The Christian nationalist movement crumbling. I mean, I've seen MAGA pastors just denounce Trump and his administration because they love him, but they're denouncing him. They're starting to repent. There's still some that's hanging on who are unrepentant, but they're going to be crumbled into the dust, humbled into the dirt, just like their dear leader. They're going to fall too. These people, now I hate to say what I'm about to say, but they're going to do something, I predict, in the next year or so that's going to be so dumb because everything they're doing is against human nature. So they're trying to take people back to the past. That's not going to work. Life doesn't work that way. They're trying to take us back in the past socially, economically, and religiously. The religious leaders are living in the Old Testament with Israel. All of this is living in the past. They're trying not to go extinct. But they're only a very small percentage of the world population. And it's just not going to work. I don't care how much military power they use, how much propaganda they use, how many AI videos they use. You cannot go against human nature. It's just not going to work. And these people, they're going to do something so stupid that it's going to cause an explosion in this country, a social revolutionary explosion. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not giving any, kudos to January 6th and how they stormed the Capitol, because that was done on lies. A true revolution. These people, they're going to storm these capitals. They're going to chase them Congress members. They're going to go after the wealthy. The wealthy are going to need those bunkers. But this would be based on human nature and a righteous cause. January 6th was all based on lies with a bunch of idiots. And now they out there trying to, oppress and brutalize people. These detention centers, that is an evil that they are going to suffer for. That's one of the evils they're going to suffer for the worst, the harshest, because what they're doing is so wicked, what they're doing to people in these detention centers. They're going to suffer for that. They're going to suffer for their greed. They're going to suffer for their brutality. And right now, they're facing a resistance. And it's little by little, resistance is showing. And these, like I said, these are nothing but old white men living in the past, trying to maintain their existence. And they're trying to indoctrinate these young white men to do these things and to believe in believe a certain way. Or we used to be like this. It's never going back to that. I mean, these people, but they're so stubborn and foolish that they're going to continue with, they're going to continue with it until there is no more. And they're going to be so humble and so down in the dirt that they're going to swear they never supported this man.